Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar. Before we begin, just a few quick notes. If you have any audio issues, please try to join in by phone using the dial-in numbers from your invitation. Please feel free to send your questions in the chat in any time during the webinar. We will answer them during the Q&A session at the end, or our team also may reply in the chat during the webinar. This webinar is being recorded and we will send you the link in the next few days. So, my name is Sergey Belkin and I'm the head of product marketing for hardware solutions at Regula. Today our webinar will have three parts. In the first part I will give you an overview of the main capabilities of our new dual video spectral comparator Regula 4308M. Then I will pass the floor to our leading forensic expert, Igor Duboisky. He will show practical examinations and explain what new opportunities the key updates of Regula 4308M give to forensic experts. And in the end, we will have a Q&A session. Let's move to our new flagship device, Regula 4308M. The comparator is designed for in-depth forensic examination for forensic laboratories and border control checkpoints. It helps experts authenticate identity documents, detect sophisticated counterfeit banknotes, and verify handwriting in official documents. So it's not only a device for checking documents under different light sources. It is a complete workstation for complex document and other forensic examinations. First, let me remind you about the key strength that Regula 4308M inherits from the previous generation of our flagship comparator. One of the main advantages is the use of two optical systems. The device has top and bottom cameras with high resolutions 14 megapixels and 12 megapixels. This allows the expert to change the site of observation. It also helps to examine fragile or damaged objects without turning them over. The optical system gives optical magnification up to 320 times. Here I want to underline one important point. We are talking about real optical magnification, not screen magnification. Screen magnification only makes the image larger on the monitor. It doesn't add new optical details. In many cases, it only stretches the existing pixels. That is why we believe that screen magnification can be a misleading metric if it's used as the main specification. Some manufacturers often use screen magnification in their marketing materials, but for an expert, the key question is simple. Does the system show new details, or does it only enlarge the pixels? Regula 4308M is focused on real optical performance and high image quality. The device also has a large working area. The tower can be raised and the side flaps can be removed. This makes it possible to examine large format objects, for example, large format documents, books, certificates, maps, or works of art. Another important feature is the motorized XY stage. The translation stage allows precise and repeatable positioning of the document. This is especially important at high magnification, where even a small movement can change the examination area. The workflow is also very convenient. The expert can select any point on the image and the system will automatically move this point to the predefined center of the screen. This makes navigation across the document much faster and more accurate. The expert can move the document step by step, return to the same area, and capture image with high accuracy. It also gives us the opportunity to stitch image of large documents up to A3 size. This is useful when the expert needs one complete high-resolution image of large object. One of the unique features of Regula 4308M is a motorized oblique light system with automatic rotation. The system is controlled directly from Regula Forensic Studio toolbar. Oblique light is very important for relief examination. It helps experts study raised and recessed areas of the surface of the document. In Regula 4308M, this system works in visible and infrared spectral ranges. The expert can also save settings, repeat the examination with the same parameters. This is important for repeatability, so the expert can repeat the conditions and confirm the results. One more important feature is 3D visualization. Regula 4308M can build a 3D model of the document fragment. This helps expert to examine the surface relief and understand the real structure of raised and recessed elements. For example, 3D visualization can be used to examine interior printing, letterpress printing, blind embossing, relief security feature, and intersecting strokes. It is also useful when the expert needs to identify the sequence of the strokes at the intersection. For example, in signatures, handwritten text, or laser printer toner, so the expert can see not only the image itself, but also the relief structure of the surface. The device also includes an embedded high-resolution spectrometer. Because spectrometer is integrated into the device, expert can analyze the spectral characteristics of inks in documents and handwritten texts without additional equipment. This makes the workflow easier and more complete, and gives the expert a wide set of tools for solving the most common and important forensic examination tasks within one system. Regula 4308M also includes hyperspectral imaging module. It can capture reflected signal intensity in the range from 395 to 1000 nanometers. This allows forensic experts to compare optical characteristics of inks, identify alterations, and restore barely visible or faded text fragments. This is especially useful when different inks look almost the same in visible light, or when the original text is damaged, faded, or partially removed. The hyperspectral analysis in Regula 4308M is based on LED light sources. This gives high precision and stable results. Regula 4308M is supplied together with professional software called Regula Forensic Studio, or RFS. RFS allows experts to obtain, process images, work with examination results, and generate forensic reports. The user interface is multilingual, so the system is convenient for users in different countries and regions. RFS also supports automated document verification. With the automated authentication module, experts can validate and cross-check data from the machine-readable zone, RFID chip, barcodes, letter screen, and other security features of identity documents. In other words, the system can perform automatic checks similar to passport readers, but inside the professional forensic workflow. This is useful when the expert needs both automatic verification and deep manual examination in one system. The software also supports biometric facial identification. It can compare the photo of the visual inspection zone with the photo stored in RFID chip or barcode. It can also compare the images with other sources such as another documents, database, or web camera. This helps experts detect sophisticated fraud, including photo substitution and other manipulations with identity documents. Many other functions are also available in RFS. For example, experts can create macros for examination scenarios. This helps automate repetitive actions with light sources and filters. The software also supports HDR imaging. HDR uses different exposures of the same object and helps capture sharper and more contrast images, especially under UV illumination. There is also super resolution imaging. The device can take a series of photos and merge them in one ultra-detailed final image. Another useful feature is multifocus. It takes a series of shots with different focus settings. This helps capture high-quality images of three-dimensional objects with complex shapes. RFS also includes smart reporting. During the examination, the expert can collect images, comparison results, security feature analysis, and processed fragments. Then all selected materials are assembled into a structured report. The expert can edit the text, arrange visuals, format, layouts, and export the final report in doc or PDF format. This is very important because forensic work doesn't end with the image. The result must be documented clearly and professionally. And now let's move to the two key upgrades of the new Regula 4308M. The first key upgrade is a new coaxial light source. It enables full-page visualization modes for ID cards and passports. These modes improve the visibility of surface structures across the whole document and allow more reliable inspection of embossed features. This is especially important for blind embossing. Blind embossing is a widely used security feature in modern identity and travel documents. It is often very difficult to see because it has no color and may be visible only through surface relief. With the new coaxial light, experts can see blind embossing more clearly across the full page, not only in a small area. This gives better visibility, faster examination, and stronger evidence for the report. The second major upgrade is the dual filter turret system. This system gives experts more precise control of the observation bands. It improves ink differentiation and increases confidence in borderline cases. For high-level forensic instruments used in complex examinations, this capability is critical for well-grounded expert assessments. In simple words, the expert gets more control over what the system sees, and more control means more confidence. Overall, Regula 4308M combines advanced optics, flexible spectral capabilities, motorized examination tools, reference database integration, automatic verification, biometric checks, and professional reporting in one system. It covers the full scope of forensic document analysis, document and banknote authentication, printing techniques detection, substrate and security feature examination, detection of alterations and obliterations, identification of seals and stamps, determine the sequence of strokes and restoring faded or damaged content. Today, we see Regula 4308M as the strongest solution in the market, with a very competitive feature set. Now, Igor Duboisky, our leading forensic expert, will show you how these new updates work in practice. He will demonstrate real examination scenarios and explain what new opportunities Regula 4308M gives to forensic experts. Igor has been working in forensic document examinations for more than 20 years. During this time, he has analyzed thousands of security documents, trained many specialists around the world, and helped develop some of Regula's advanced verification tools.
Hello dear colleagues, nice to see you again on our webinar. Let's start! Every year, the share of polymer documents and polymer data pages in passport increasingly prevail over paper ones. At the same time, the vast majority of such documents are equipped with blind embossing. In environments where polymer documents typically use only offset printing technique with no intaglio and letterpress, the importance of other security features, including blind embossing, which is becoming increasingly complex with microtext and complex patterns, grows significantly during authenticity verification. Experts understand the best tool for visualizing and verifying these security features is coaxial light. Therefore, we have improved our coaxial light module, making the process of capturing full-page image of an ID cards and passport page convenient and fast, while ensuring high image quality. For checking blind embossing, we developed a special coaxial module for our flagship comparator Regula 4308M. The module has a magnetic lock, it's easy to install, and it helps to show these security features in the best possible way. The new functionality of the device is supported in Regula Forensic Studio. To obtain an image of the entire document page, we use auto-stitching function. This process is fully automatic. The document stage moves under the coaxial light source according to the examined document's format. As a result, we get a complete image of the page and can examine security features, in this case, blind embossing. One of the most required and challenging tasks in examining documents containing handwritten entries is determine whether alterations have been made. This is especially difficult when the inks used in the handwritten entries have been carefully selected and look very similar not only in the white light, but also look similar in the different specific light sources like infrared, ultraviolet, narrow band for infrared luminescence. In such cases, having two filter turrets and the ability to combine them allows the expert to work with narrower ranges of observed infrared luminescence to detect differences. This increases the chances of obtaining meaningful results using a video spectral comparator without chemical methods. Identity verification is usually carried out comprehensively and is not limited only to checking the document. This may be relevant both for border control and for forensic institutes that conduct various types of examinations, including forensic portrait examinations. In both cases, our advanced face matching module is very useful. Now, using our improved face matching module, an expert can compare photos from a single document as well as images from other sources, such as another document, a database, or a web camera. As we know, photos are one of the most commonly changed elements in the document, so this comparison helps detect differences quickly. Let me demonstrate. First, we upload a photo from the computer, then we take images from different passport pages, as well as a photo from the RFID chip, and drag and drop them into the comparison field. We also add a photo from another document, and finally, we include an image captured with the web camera. To start the comparison, we click Compare and see the result. The system compares photos in pairs. Each photo is compared with every other photo. As a result, the experts see the match percentage. A match of 80% or higher indicates that the photos belong to the same person. If the percentage is lower than that, it suggests that the people in the photos are different. Another feature I'd like to show you is two ultraviolet 365 visualization modes, which allows the expert to observe luminescence using the different bandpass filters. There are two options: visible mode, where the image looks as it appears to the eye, and fluorescence mode, which shows only the clean luminescence. Both can be useful depending on the task. Let's take a look. We place the passport into the Regula comparator. From the set of basic light sources, we select ultraviolet 365. The fluorescence mode is selected by default. On the screen, we see the document through bandpass filter. This mode allows us to observe clean luminescence. Then we switch to visible mode. The image remains the same, but now the document appears as it would to the human eye, and different bandpass filters are applied. Now we display both images on the screen, and you can clearly see the difference in color between them. The process of documents and banknotes authentication is based on comparing the questioned object with a specimen or its description and images from an information reference system. However, we all understand that no laboratory in the world can collect a complete collection of real specimens. That is why many years ago we decided to create our own information reference system to provide informational support to our clients who use regular equipment for document examination. Today, we can confidently say that our database is the most comprehensive. It contained description and illustrations of passports, visas, ID cards, banknotes, coins, auto documents, and other items from 226 countries, territories, and organizations. In our information reference system, you will find not only description, but also images showing how specimens look under various light sources, white, ultraviolet, infrared, narrowband light sources, etc., as well as information about magnetic protection, detailed images of security features, and information about their printing techniques. And this reference knowledge is available directly inside Regula Forensic Studio. For example, when the experts select UV light, they can immediately compare the examined document with the UV reference image from the database. So, expert gets not only a device, but also access to the large expert knowledge base inside the same workflow. Now, let's move on to our Q&A session. Please feel free to send us your question. See you in a minute. Hello again. Let's consider your questions. Let's check. So the first question is, how do motorized oblique light and 3D visualization complement each other when examining relief and intersecting strokes? Okay, you should keep in mind that these both tools, they're completely different. When we are talking about oblique light sources, you should understand that we always examine the reality view of our examined surface, and the camera is always in the stable position, and we just operate with the magnification, with the position of oblique light sources. We can change the type of illumination, white and infrared. We can adjust the position of these light sources because we examine often different type of object with different thickness, with different reliefs, with different depths and height of indented and convex strokes. So we always examine the reality surface. When we are talking about 3D visualization, we always examine 3D model, which is created by software. We can operate with three modes: original, surface properties, and height palette. We can zoom in, zoom out this 3D model. We can rotate this one. We can do inversion to estimate the strokes. We can estimate the edges of the strokes when we need to determine the sequence of these relief strokes. But yes, all of these tools, both of these tools, they are designed for examination some reliefs on the examined surface, but they are completely different. Let's move to the next question. In what cases should an expert use the hyperspectral model, and when is the spectrometer or standard spectral examination enough? So, yeah, there is no universal approach or method. We don't know what the chemical composition of the inks, for instance, when we are talking about alteration and handwritten strokes. And we don't know how these inks react on different type of illumination. Sometimes for checking, for detecting alteration, we just need to switch on infrared light, and for instance, one of inks are visible in the infrared light, another one is invisible. So we can easily make conclusions that in this document was some strokes are altered. In another case, we can face with some complex cases, and we need to apply different tools. We can apply narrowband light sources. We can check our document under infrared light, under different wavelengths of narrowband light sources to check
infrared luminescence. We can apply spectrometer to measure color characteristics of the inks. We can apply hyperspectral analysis, etc. And probably in some we can make conclusion about similarity or differences of the inks. Almost every case is unique, and so just the idea of the device that we provide the huge set of tools and light sources and expert based on the knowledge and experience can apply all of them and reach the best result. So the next one about our information, the next question is about our information reference system. The information reference system contains a very large number of reference images and document descriptions. How should an expert use this database in a forensic report, as reference material or as a full comparison standard? The information reference system should be used as a professional reference source of forensic information, because it was created to support our clients, because we understand that our examination, our comparison based on the comparison of question document, banknotes with reference, with the specimen. But it's, as I mentioned during the webinar, it's impossible to collect the whole collection of references, specimens. It depends on your rules, laws, but normally expert can use our information reference as a source of information to compare with the questioned document. And we are completely confident that our information reference system contains reliable information about printing techniques, about security features, about chemical protection, some security inks, and of course you can use this one as a reference to compare your question object with our information reference system and make conclusion based on this comparison. So the next question. If the full page blind embossing image is obtained through auto stitching, how reproducible is this result? Can the examination be repeated with the same parameters and produce a comparable image? When you use our new module for coaxial light source for checking blind embossing, you should understand that it's quite easy. You just need to connect this module into the device, and just your task to position correctly your examined object exactly in the center of field of view. And we have, of course, the tip, the cross, which shows us the center of our field of view, and special frame, which will help you to position correctly your examined object. And the software will offer you two options according to the format of examined object, because we know that blind embossing we can find only in the ID card and the data page of the passport, for instance. So you just need to select according to the format of your examined object one of the two bottoms, ID card or passport, and click once this button, and the device and software will automatically move the object stage, will adjust the magnification, exposure, and obtain the full page image of your examined object. If you need to repeat this process, if you need to examine another type of the object, you always can apply our function of restoring the image. When you can select any type of the image, it doesn't matter, under coaxial light, ultraviolet, or oblique light sources, you can just open image of your previous examination, click one button to restore, and device will automatically repeat all the process of your previous examination. We'll adjust the magnification, we'll adjust even the exposure and aperture, we'll adjust all the settings of the camera, even position of the object state, even position of the light sources, intensity, etc. All settings, and you will obtain new result of examination with the same properties, with the same settings. So it's quite convenient to save time. The next question is about filters. Is a dual filter turret demonstration. The difference between inks appears when the observation range is narrowed. How should an expert select the correct filter combination to avoid a random or misinterpreted result? So I'd recommend that expert should always work systematically, and we cannot recommend trying random filters. You can always step by step apply the whole set of our narrow band light sources. Of course, you can do it automatically because we have special button which you can click once and device will automatically obtain the images and with the combination of all our narrow band light sources with the filters by default. But I'd recommend to step by step examine our question document. For instance, when we need to determine alterations in the handwritten document, you can step by step change these narrow band light sources and with the default filters. If you recognize any suspicious moment, in this case, you can apply this type of light sources, for instance, the green light with the default filters, and at the same time, you can apply additionally the second turret filters and make the range of observation, range of examination narrower, and probably you will determine, you will reveal the differences between these inks because the differences will be obvious. At the same time, you can apply some additional options, functions of our software. You can increase the intensity of the narrowband light sources, and it helps you to reveal the differences more obvious. And you can apply pseudo-color function, which also helps us to reveal some alterations much reliable. So what else? Let me check. A lot of question about prices, deliveries. We will not consider now these issues. Our sales and regional manager will and partners will connect with you directly and provide all information, okay, about prices. So the next question: how can the forensic reliability of hardware-based system be effectively translated into scalable, user-friendly digital onboarding processes with or the I didn't get the idea of the question. Then let me check. Information in the the question is about how can we transform this like hardware solution, in the digital sphere or like this one. I didn't get the probably exactly the idea of the question, but I should say that in our solutions we implemented both of these hardware and software solution and even artificial intelligence solutions. You can apply in our Regula Forensics Studio some modules for automated verification of the document. You can check digital information from RFID chip, from visual zone, and software can automatically check all security features of the question document. But at the same time, you can apply all these hardware tools. You can apply your knowledge, your experience, you can compare information, and at the same time you can compare all this information with our information reference system, which provide you set of specimen reference information, and so you can cross-check all sorts of informations. Thank you for presentation. You're welcome. What's the differences between 4308M and 4308S? The difference is that 4308S has only one optical system, only top one. There is no bottom optical system, and some limits about coaxial light source, and probably that's all. But 4308 previous model and 4308M dual video spectral comparators, which have two optical system, top and bottom, so you can operate with both of them. It's quite convenient when we need to check to avoid some extra contact with examined object. You can use bottom one, you can use the top one, and also, as I mentioned and we mentioned during this webinar, we implemented some new new features, like new model for blind embossing examination, new model of coaxial light source, and the second turret with the filters also was implemented, and it really provides more possibilities for experts. It really increased the possibilities of the expert when we examine handwritings and alterations. Okay. The next question is about the languages of our software. About Arabic language. For sure. We support Arabic language, and a lot of our clients use this option. And this language was checked by our clients during the long time, and they approved. The next question is about the differences of 4308M and the previous version. I have already mentioned about the second turret of filters and new coaxial model. Again, question about the price. As I mentioned, our regional sales managers and partners will connect with you soon and will provide all the information. The next question is about the database. Is it associated with the program? It completely implemented inside of the Regula Forensics Studio as separated tab. You can use our database as like a software application, and you can use this one as a tab of Regula Forensics Studio when you work with the device. Is quite convenient, especially when you use two more screens. You can detach this tab and share on the second screen, and you can compare the image from the camera, from the image of examined object, which is inside of the device, and with information on the second screen with information from our information reference system from our database. And also I should mention that we have different type of databases for different clients. For central banks, only banknotes. For border police services, only passport, visas. For like coins, auto documents, etc. Yeah, the same question about database. Yeah, as I mentioned, we can use separately like separate software application, or we can use this one as like additional tab inside of the Regula Forensic Studio. This next question is about motorized oblique lighting. Is it motorized oblique lighting only moved up and down? Not at the same time. This system automatically concentrates the spot of light in the center of the field of view. Yeah, it's automatically adjustable function. If you move up or down, the device automatically concentrates the light directly in the center of field of view. The next question about examination of intersecting strokes. If there is a new technique more accurate for intersections between strokes and printed text, but in this case, crucial to understand which type of printed text you mean, inkjet printed text or laser printer strokes. Yeah, if we are talking about laser printer, it's quite easy to detect the alteration. It's quite easy to detect the sequence of intersecting stroke if they have like intersection areas. Yeah. If they have no intersection area, in this case, it's the method is much more complex, and to determine the sequence much more difficult. If we are talking about inkjet printer, it's sometimes it's possible, but we need to apply different techniques, different approach, and yeah, it's nothing new, like traditional method of examinations. After sales supported regarding maintenance and update, what about it? Yeah, we will provide. Our sales managers and partners will provide all the information about this issue. And traditionally, we provide training and we teach our clients how to use our devices, how to apply different methods, etc. So no worries, we will provide service. For spectroscopy features, differentiations differ in printed document or right handwriting. Yeah, if we are talking about printed documents, the spectrometer is not so useful because you know that the images of the color printers, they contains the dots of different color, yet me, and it's like doesn't matter to apply this method. But if we are talking about handwriting, of course, it's we can apply this method for examination because sometimes the color characteristics of the inks they are not so visible by the naked eyes, but when we measure color characteristics of the inks, we can obtain the graphs, we can obtain the results, and we can use them for comparison and for conclusion. for database of banknotes can be used separately of VC or maybe used alone. No, of course, you can use our database, as I mentioned, as a separate software application. Yeah, for sure. It's possible just by only our database. It doesn't matter. It could be, yeah, and you can use this one with any type of our forensic devices, even with microscope or just separate. For UV light, how many classes are applied in 4308M? So we implemented additional, we have, of course, we have traditional UVA, UVB, UVC for checking secure document and banknotes. Traditional, but also we applied to additional wavelengths of ultraviolet light, 385 and 400, approximately 5 nanometers. They're intended mostly for forensic tasks, to check some luminescence of paper, to check luminescence of inks, to reveal some traces of chemical etching, etc. So, as I mentioned, we provide huge range of tools, light sources, and experts can use them according to the tasks and needs. Coaxial light is hard to use with glass plate. Any developed methods to keep the page flat when examination with coaxial light? So now in our new devices, we implement a new handle for the passport. So it's quite easy to provide the flat position of our examined object of the passport. So it's, and with the new, our coaxial module is quite easy to reveal. There is no any problem to position properly the passport and reveal blind embossing on the new coaxial module. So believe me, it's quite easy. What improvement have been made for handwriting and signature examination? It's, as I mentioned, if we are talking about alterations, or the second part of handwriting examination and signature examination is to detect who wrote these notes and who signed the document. Yeah, if we are talking about alteration, as we mentioned, we implemented completely new module of filters with the second turret, when you can combine different ranges of filters, and you can increase or decrease the range, the band of examination. It really helps to reveal some alteration and differences between inks, which look very similar under white light and even under some specific light sources like narrowband, ultraviolet, infrared. But when we apply the second tool with the second set of filters, it really helps to reveal some differences between inks. In the device effective in examine and sequence of strokes, both homogeneous and heterogeneous. Yes, this like better than me that examination of sequence strokes is quite challenging task here. When we are talking about handwritten strokes, we can apply different methods, optical and the white light. We can estimate some transmission of the inks. We can estimate the edges of the strokes using oblique light sources, using model for 3D visualization, estimate them and make conclusion. If we are talking about seals, stamps, and printed text, for instance, which are printed using inkjet printers, of course, it's too challenging. If we are talking about laser printers, it's easy to determine the sequence of the strokes. It depends on the kind of the strokes, yeah, because it's quite challenging without relief to determine the sequence of the strokes. As I mentioned, when we are talking about seals and stamps and inkjet printer. 3D visualization accuracy for intersections reach how percentage? It's of course, and here also there are a lot of aspects which can impact on the result. Yeah, we have to estimate the pressure. We have to estimate. We should examine all intersections. Yeah, for instance, when we examine two signatures and there are, for instance, 5 intersections between them. Of course, we can examine all of them because you know that the distribution of the pressure in the handwritings always are different depending on our movies. So a lot of aspects can have impact on this, like on the edges of the strokes. So we have to estimate. I cannot guarantee that you will determine the sequence, but this tool allows us to increase the efficiency of this method. If there is training course for VC4308M, of course, normally, as I mentioned, we provide after delivery of the equipment, we provide the training how to use our software, our video spectral comparator, of course, and always after training, we keep in touch with our clients, we support them, and we can organize some additional online session. No worries about it. So the long question. How can the forensic level robustness of hardware-based document authentication system be effectively translated into mobile-first software-only identity verification and facial biometric without comparison security or fraud detection accuracy? I'm not sure that I've got this question properly, but as I mentioned, we provide set of tools, yeah, for manual, for forensic examination, and for automated examination. In our regular forensic studio, you can apply different models. For instance, automated verification of the identity document, which have MRZ zone and RFID chip. Yeah, and our software will automatically check all these security features, all this source of information. At the same time, as we showed, you can check and compare biometric information. You can compare face from the data page. You can compare face image from the RFID chip. You can compare the person who provides this document. You can compare also additionally all images from your computer or from others source of information. So you can apply manual type of examination, you can apply automated types of examination, you can compare security features of the documents, you can compare biometric information, and it will help you to make conclusion. Could support me with the user manual guide. Manual guide we will provide together with our software and device for sure. You will have opportunity to to obtain this information. The second question about both optical system, could we apply top and bottom as well together? No, unfortunately, it's impossible because you can apply step by step. The top one and after that the bottom one. Together it's impossible. When discussing any device, the end customer tends to compare it with competing products. What are the features or advantages that are not available in competing devices? Or we will not compare our products with our competitors. So it's just today we provide this information about our flagship, so you can compare this information yourself. We are completely confident about the quality and possibilities of our devices. But thank you for your question. Thank you, and you. Welcome. For filter state, is a colored filter or gray only? And is there possibility for color infrared filter? I'm not sure that I got this question properly, but when you use narrowband light sources and when you examine your object in the narrowband light sources with infrared luminescence, the image is always black and white, gray. But as I mentioned, you can apply some additional digital filters, and you can apply special function of pseudo color when the software colored all the strokes and increase the contrast between the different strokes, which have different chemical component, different colors, different properties. You can apply these digital filters, you can apply this function of pseudo color, and your examined object, your examined strokes will be colored automatically. So that's all. If you have any questions after our webinar, please feel free, send us to me or Sergey Belkin or to our partners, our sales managers. We will answer your questions via email. So please send us your questions. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope to see you again during our next webinar. So see you again. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.